Just 2 months ago, the Los Angeles Lakers looked like a team stuck in neutral. The defense was breaking down, the chemistry felt off, and the connection between Luka Dončić, the team's clear centerpiece, and LeBron James, the veteran leader, didn't seem to click. The narrative was already forming fast. People were writing them off, saying this roster couldn't compete and that the whole experiment was headed in the wrong direction. But then, something shifted.
To Doncic. Spencer Jones on him. Here's the double. Doncic on the drive. Step back. Puts it up. Puts it in! With 5/10 of a second remaining! Lakers by...
Across their last 10 outings, the Lakers have surged to a dominant 9-1 record. And right at the center of it all is Luka Dončić delivering one explosive performance after another. He dropped 44, followed it up with 51, and then sealed the spotlight with a clutch triple-double to take down Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. What makes this run even more remarkable is that he's doing it while navigating serious challenges off the court, showing a level of focus that's hard to ignore. Already known as one of the most gifted scorers in the NBA, Luka has clearly elevated his game to new heights, and that rise is transforming the Lakers into a force in an area many once believed would hold them back. The timing couldn't be better, with the playoffs just around the corner, as Luka quietly builds his Prove Them Wrong campaign. It's a strong message to the league. Underestimating him could go down as a major miscalculation. Even though his stats consistently rank him among the game's elite, critics still question his efficiency, labeling him as a volume scorer who piles up numbers but disrupts rhythm and shot selection, an opinion fueled by his unique, ball-dominant style of play. His game isn't flashy at first glance. It's slow, calculated, and not always smooth, which often makes people assume the results aren't sharp either. And earlier this season, that same narrative seemed stronger than ever. By December, when Luka Dončić was labeled as struggling, critics felt validated, as if all their doubts had finally been proven right. The conversation quickly spiraled, dominating every show and discussion with the same question. Can a player with this style truly be efficient enough to lead a team when it matters most? But what no one anticipated was how fast that narrative would collapse. While the noise was at its peak, Luka was already adjusting behind the scenes, and since January, he's been playing at a completely different level, especially in terms of efficiency. After starting the year by hitting just 1 of 7 shots from deep on January 1st, he flipped the switch. Over the next 31 games, he averaged 32.2 points, 8.4 assists, 7.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 4.2 threes while shooting 49% from the field, 41% from beyond the arc, and 75% at the line. Then came March, where his numbers somehow climbed even higher, with 34.3 points, 9 rebounds, 7.7 assists, 2 steals, and 1.1 blocks per game, all while maintaining elite efficiency. The stats are eye-opening on their own, but his head coach JJ Redick has been quick to point out that what's happening goes far beyond just the numbers.
Luka Magic strikes again. He's going to break the 20-point mark again here in the first quarter.
For nearly 2.5 months now, Luka Dončić has been delivering the rare combination of high volume and high efficiency, and according to his head coach JJ Redick, that shooting touch is changing everything. Redick emphasized how crucial it is when Luka knocks down threes, saying it energizes the entire team and unlocks the offense. The numbers back it up. The Lakers hold a dominant 24-6 record when Luka hits at least 4 shots from deep, compared to just 12-13 when he doesn't. For a player already feared as one of the most gifted scorers in the NBA, this leap from beyond the arc forces defenders to extend further, opening driving lanes, improving passing angles, and allowing him to control defenses in pick-and-roll situations while creating clean looks for teammates. A big part of this success also comes from Redick's system, which is designed around Luka's strengths rather than forcing him into a rigid structure, giving him the freedom to read the floor and dictate every possession. When that freedom meets this level of shooting efficiency, the Lakers' offense transforms completely. They now rank 8th in the league and have performed like a top 5 unit over their last 8 games. The reality is Luka's 2025-26 campaign has been nothing short of MVP level, even if the recognition hasn't fully caught up. He's averaging 32.9 points, 8.5 assists, and 7.9 rebounds, placing him firmly among the league's elite. Yet some narratives still overlook the fact that he's leading the league in scoring while pushing the Los Angeles Lakers to the 3rd seed in a loaded Western Conference. More importantly, his impact is translating into wins. After struggling against top-tier teams earlier in the season, the Lakers have turned things around with 7 straight victories, including key wins over the New York Knicks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets, and Houston Rockets, with Luka leading the charge in each one. The run began with a 44-point performance against the Indiana Pacers, followed by 35 against the Knicks and 31 against the Timberwolves, proving he's been the driving force behind this surge. Things reached another level when Luka Dončić erupted for a near triple-double against the Chicago Bulls, dropping 51 points, grabbing 10 rebounds, dishing 9 assists, and adding 3 steals. He followed that up with a full triple-double in an overtime win over the Denver Nuggets, finishing with 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 13 assists, capped off by a clutch fadeaway to seal the game. The momentum didn't stop there, as he continued dominating with back-to-back scoring bursts of 36 and 40 points against the Houston Rockets, making it clear this stretch is all about Luka carrying the team every single night. Across these 7 games, he's averaging an incredible 38.1 points, 9.1 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 48% from the field and 40% from deep. Elite production paired with elite efficiency, completely shutting down every major criticism surrounding his game. There's no denying that his first full season with the Los Angeles Lakers has lived up to expectations, as he's now on track to secure his 2nd scoring title while ranking 3rd in assists. His form is starting to resemble his dominant 2024 Finals run with the Mavericks, reinforcing why he's often considered one of the most naturally gifted scorers in the NBA. But beyond the stats, what makes this stretch even more remarkable is the personal adversity behind it. On March 10th, ESPN reported that Luka had separated from his fiancée, with further details from TMZ revealing an ongoing custody battle over their 2 daughters, including a petition for child support and legal fees. Reports also suggested he has had very limited time with his children, adding an emotional weight to an already intense situation. Regardless of team loyalty, it's a tough reality to process, and many expected his performance to dip when the news surfaced, with the pressure of real-life challenges potentially impacting his play on the court. Instead, Luka Dončić responded with dominance against the Minnesota Timberwolves, putting on a show and then following it up with a stunning 51-point performance in just 37 minutes to lead the Los Angeles Lakers to a 142-130 win over the Chicago Bulls. After the game, Luka briefly addressed his situation, explaining that basketball has become his escape, calling it his life and the one place where he finds peace despite everything happening around him. That context makes his performances even more powerful. During one of the toughest periods of his personal life, he delivered one of the best games of his NBA career. And he didn't slow down, as just 2 nights later he recorded a 30-point, 13-assist, 11-rebound triple-double in a dramatic 127-125 overtime win against the Denver Nuggets, sealing it with his first clutch game winner as a Laker. Luka has taken pressure, emotion, and adversity and channeled it directly into his performance, relying on the one thing he can fully control, his game, to push through a difficult chapter. With him now playing at his absolute peak since arriving in Los Angeles, the Lakers' offense has become dangerous enough to compete with anyone. The real concern, however, remains on the defensive end. Coming into the season, expectations were already modest defensively, but the reality was even worse, as the Lakers ranked 26th in defensive rating through their first 40 games, allowing 117.9 points per 100 possessions, a number that raises serious concerns for any team with championship aspirations. The defensive issues were stacked across the board for the Los Angeles Lakers, showing up in nearly every key category. They ranked just 18th in opponent free throw rate, 19th in steals, 20th in defensive rebounding percentage, 21st in points allowed in the paint, and 23rd in opponent three-point shooting during the second half of the season, exposing serious weaknesses in both rim protection and perimeter coverage. Opponents were getting whatever they wanted. Drives to the basket came with little resistance, perimeter defense broke down far too easily, and transition coverage was consistently exploited. When you add in costly turnovers, it often turned into easy points going the other way. A bottom-tier defense like that clearly needed major adjustments, both in personnel and strategy, and that's exactly what JJ Redick decided to address. He introduced a bold tactical shift that completely changed their defensive identity. Since their January 18th matchup against the Toronto Raptors, the Lakers have leaned heavily into a zone-based approach, increasing its usage to 17.6%, a number that stands out across the NBA. They now rely on a 2-to-3 zone setup, positioning 2 defenders up top and 3 along the back line, moving away from strict man-to-man coverage and instead focusing on controlling space. It's a more modern, adaptable system that incorporates advanced concepts like peel switching, scram switches, targeted help defense, free safety-style rotations, and well-timed ball pressure, all designed to disrupt defensive rhythm. The strategy is clear: force the weakest options on the opposing team to make plays and live with those results. With this new approach, superstars now face constant resistance, seeing multiple defenders between them and the rim, while the system also helps cover one of the roster's biggest weaknesses, staying in front of quick guards. For the Los Angeles Lakers, it's all about communication, effort, and full commitment, and JJ Redick has clearly earned that trust from his players. The impact has been real. Since January 18th, the Lakers have improved to 14th in defensive rating at 112.2, making significant strides in limiting three-point shots, reducing fouls, securing rebounds, and tightening transition defense. During that stretch, they ranked among the top 10 in both fewest threes allowed and opponent three-point percentage, even holding teams to 10 or fewer made threes in 7 of 8 games between January 19th and March 5th, going 7-1 in the process. Their rebounding also took a major leap, climbing from 20th earlier in the season to 6th, with Luka Dončić contributing strongly by averaging 8.2 rebounds while also lowering his fouls. As a team, they've become far more disciplined, ranking 3rd in opponent free throw rate, while turnovers, once a major issue, have steadily decreased, helping them improve their transition defense and climb into the top 10 in limiting fast break points. The result is clear: this is no longer a weak defensive team. Through smarter schemes, better rebounding, and improved ball control, the Lakers have reshaped their identity into a balanced squad capable of competing with anyone. That growth has shown up most in big matchups, including strong defensive performances against the New York Knicks and Minnesota Timberwolves, two of the league's top offenses. They held the Knicks under 100 points on just 43% shooting and 24% from 3, while limiting Jalen Brunson to 8 of 19 from the field, and nearly repeated that effort against Minnesota, effectively containing both Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards with a true team defensive effort. Anthony Edwards in particular struggled heavily, finishing with just 14 points on 2 of 15 shooting, one of his lowest outputs of the season, as the Los Angeles Lakers executed their defensive game plan to near